people really think it's a game out here, just laying down with any old person. You meet somebody the first day and you just, oh, they look good and you sleep with them. But at one point in time, we had campaigns like the Wrap It Up campaign. People was really definitely in the 80s, talking about the AIDS virus and, HIV. Well, in Atlanta, they had a woman that went and do some training down there. I want you to hear what this woman's told in the story as this sister's reading what was sent to her about what's going on in Atlanta in the area of HIV.
How I moved to Atlanta for a job and immediately became celibate after working in a clinic there. So I became certified at my new job for something with a higher title and pay. Now my goal was to be in another state for this job that I really wanted, but I had to go to Atlanta for 6 months to train. My first day on the job was not busy. It was steady, but nothing terrible. The next day, it was a lot of WIC patients, so it was busy. Then my third day, it was busy. So many men and women coming in, getting tested for everything. And most of them was either married or gay. And also, they wasn't even from Atlanta. They had just moved there. I want to say that. They literally was not even from Atlanta. They had relocated to Atlanta. So my trainer was the one who they came in to get their test results from. And I kid you not, I hadn't been there 2 weeks. She had told over 200 people they were positive for HIV. They kept a chart and a rough count, which was over 10,000 cases when I was there so far this year. Some were crying, mad. We even had to call the police because they would tear up the room from being so upset. And some, it was like they already knew, they just needed to confirm it. And had already been showing signs of having it. Some were sad because they were as young as 13. I mean, some 13-year-old girls was coming in there finding out they had HIV. I told myself, I will not date while I'm here, and I had ran into some very handsome men, but nope, I knew what I knew. I did my training, I stayed single, and got up out of there because Atlanta, y'all, it can't be a real place.
Now, just hearing that story, for me personally, it's like a horror film. I wouldn't want to fool with nobody anyway. I don't even understand a lot of people because I guess for me, I'm so much of when it comes to people touching me, like I'm also like a germaphobe, not like obsessive with it, but I can shake somebody's hand, sure. But when you actually getting close to me and actually touching me in certain ways, I don't like people touching me. I just really don't. And it's not that I feel like I'm better than anybody. Oh, don't touch me. No. I just don't know where people's hands been. I know what I do, but I don't know where people's hands been, right? And I keep respectful distance from people. And it's just what it is. I don't know. Like, you kissing up on people that you just met. You're letting people touch you here, touch you there, you just met. And then, now you really want to talk about the situation in Atlanta. I mean, let's go there. Ladies, you know what it is in Atlanta. And unfortunately, some of you out there don't have a problem fooling with guys that play on both teams. You understand? There's a lot of bussy chasing that be happening out there in Atlanta. And there's a lot of things that be going on top of the situation. I need to do a deep dive on why it's like that in Atlanta, to be honest with you, because I just think that's interesting that particular city got more of that going on than, most other cities where a lot of black people are at. But regardless of what you're doing, you need to be careful. The best way I tell people to be careful is to practice a monogamous relationship. And if that relationship is not working out, just, move on with your life and get into another monogamous relationship. Listen, you can't just be laying down out here with everybody, okay? It was never meant for you to do that. I don't care what Wicked America tell you. I don't care what Wicked America tell you about medications. Oh, get on PrEP, do this and do that. Listen, why you got to do all that? Just get in a committed relationship, preferably be married to your husband, be married to your wife. Y'all, sleep with each other and keep it like that. You won't have no problems. I tell people all the time, you make your life too difficult. life is really very simple on a whole lot of things. I told a brother that the other day. I told him, I said, as I get older, I realize life is just so simple that I was making things complicated. And I know a lot of you making your life complicated. You don't have to lay down with everybody you meet. Especially as a man. You shouldn't be touching every woman. Matter of fact, that's your superpower. That you can take her out somewhere and she thinking, oh, he want to mess with me. Like, nah, I'm good. I don't need that from you. I'm cool. You should never be, look, like Tupac said, you don't want it if it's that easy. It's a reason Tupac said that. Because if that's the first thing she's offering you right off the jump, she has nothing to offer. Her body is the last thing she should be offering. She should be offering who she is as a person. She should be offering, her character. What's her cooking skills like? Is she a friend, good friend she could be? Or, hey, if she has children, is she a good mom? Or do she want children one day and hopefully she'll be a good mom? There's so many things you got to think about. How's her finances? There's so many different things you got to think about before you even get to that. That's the easy part. But the sleeping with people, if it's not HIV, it could be other STDs, right? So all in all, I'm telling y'all, chill out, slow down. I mean, don't be consumed with the passion that's going on in your genitals. I tell men all the time, be guided by the head on your shoulders and not the head in your pants. And your life will go so much better for you. And they got women out here that's just as much as thirst buckets too. Hopping on and whatever dude they want to hop on. And because this feminist ideology that's in America, they tell these women that's okay. No, if somebody tell you something, they wrong or whatever. Well, it was never meant for you to have every man be up in you either. It was never meant for that. That's why y'all get all kind of things happen to y'all. Y'all let a bunch of men fool with y'all like that, especially women. But yeah, it can make anybody want to be celibate hearing stories like that. And for the fact that you have underage children who are getting this disease, that's sad. That's the saddest part about this whole thing. It's like, what's going on? What is going on with our people? We've got so much to focus on. And we're sitting up here. You know what I'm saying? It's bad. So like, you single, just be careful. Be careful. If a person can't get tested with you or whatever, and you can't see that My Chart yourself, that you actually see them log in, not them send you a screenshot. You know what I'm saying? Because I heard people do that too. They'll send you a so-called screenshot of their My Chart, but it's not theirs, right? So you gotta let them log in front of you, so you can actually see that's what it was. Because people play all kind of games, and people out here will give you HIV